was to take the essence of hashtag each one teach 10 forward, where I'm learning from my guests. The guests are, sharing their thoughts to the audience, and they have a platform to share their ideas. And it's been an amazing journey where I have learned a lot from my guests, and I've improved as a podcaster myself, and I've been able to give my insights to rest of people around the world on how they could start their own podcast as well, because that's wherein we all can come together and listen to great ideas and then spread them forward with each one teach 10. So that was like a bit about how I started the podcast. Each one teach 10 was I had read about the motto called each one teach one, and I thought, why not 10x the thing, because each one person can teach 10 and the journey keeps on continuing as there's a ripple reaction. And the beginning was, like I said, training students and teachers about what is the importance of visual learning in game-based learning, and I had seen students finding it tough to study from the books. So as an addition to game-based learning, I thought about starting my own podcast, wherein we're not just talking about games, but lots of other ICT tools which can also be used, and how teachers can incorporate that into their classroom, where they are teaching the way the students want to learn and not just using those traditional age-based learning methods. So the moment of each one teach 10 was when people started appreciating that we are learning a lot from your podcast. And even guests, I always ask for in the end of the podcast, from a short note from the guests about what was their thought about it. So that keeps me motivating and always keeps me on track on bringing on more and more episodes for the audience, because when you get appreciated, and that means you're giving it back to the society as well. So yeah, getting good response, and of course keeping in mind that there's a reason why I started. So that keeps me going and continuing with the podcast and my journey with each one teach 10. My podcast is all about the importance of inculcating good learning practices and using tech for good. So with new technologies coming up, for example, artificial intelligence, how can teachers align that with their lesson plans, and also, how they could make the lesson plans more engaging using different methods with XR, AI, and of course game-based learning. So whatever new trend comes up, I make sure that I'm having guests who are working upon the same field, and they're coming and addressing that, because there are lots of confusions with teachers about how to inculcate them, because some of them are also quite hesitant to start using new techniques. But when they get motivation through like-minded individuals who themselves have had successful journeys on using those tools to engage students in their classroom, I think that's what is able to motivate them to start it. And also it's wherein I am learning from my guests as well, and I'm able to share that with my teachers at my school or any other educator I know online. So keeping up with the trends is necessary with the podcast, and that's how I'm able to get amazing guests who are as well keeping up with the trends for education. Evangelist of AI at Adobe, Miss Chris Castanova. So she talked a lot about amazing tools that Adobe offers, for example, Firefly, wherein you can make your learning and time management better using Adobe Firefly. And honestly, I have been using it myself as well. It helps me to create summaries for my podcast, or also helps me to get good questions set up for my guests as well. So, and also recently I've had Miss Alana Winnick. She also talked about amazing ways AI can be used for lesson plan engagement. And of course, I recently had Mikko Perella, the principal of School of Gaming, who's talked about how they are using gaming in an educational manner to engage students, wherein also it's offline and online gaming. So there are several aspects that are being touched in each episode, and it's not just about AI. There are a lot of other elements that people need to know that are coming up and need to be known about and incorporated. To continue with making and giving out more podcasts, I also was able to launch my books in 2022 and 2024. And it's all about how my journey started. And the second one is about how I've been able to use sustainability and SDG goals for implementation. So, moving forward, I would love to be a social entrepreneur, at the same time, continue and spreading the ripples of change with my motto, each one, each 10.